so good. She's so good. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I didn't bring my flashlight out. So good. Girl. Let's put it back under. Good girl, Mama. So good. She's so good. Oh, she's so good. She's so good. Okay, she does a good job. Uh-huh. Good girl. Yeah, she didn't even want to get up this morning to go out to the pond with the rest of the flock. I think this is the second day now that she has decided against that. It is a little cooler. Temperatures are a little cooler these last couple of days, so it's possible she just knows she can't get up because then the eggs will lose too much heat. She's usually gone for 20-30 minutes at a time when she goes to the pond, but on the warmer days, once she's got those eggs covered, when she gets up, the heat stays in the area. So if it was a little later in the day, she might have gotten up, but she's sitting tight. She's working hard. And we're hoping we'll have little ducklings by next weekend. So right around the 1st of April, just after the 1st of April. Good girl, Scully. Hi, babies. All right, so this is the used bedding layer going into the hugelkulture garden. We got lots of nice rain overnight and during the day yesterday, so I had watered the layers that were in it already, but lots of watering happened thanks to Mother Nature in the last 24 hours. So again, I'm just adding now the bedding that I've scooped out of the pen so that I can put some fresh bedding in. Especially after it rains, it gets so muddy in there, and then when I go to collect eggs, they're covered in mud, which doesn't hurt anything, but I kind of like for them to look pretty and be clean. So I'm just going to continue scooping bedding out of the pen and adding it to this hugelkulture garden. I'll water it really good again today, and the next steps then will be to put some topsoil and maybe even some like garden soil mix on top of that. All right, so this is the latest update. We'll keep you posted. They're coming back. Sweet babies. Oh, so many sweet babies. All right, so here's where I am working in the pen. Around their water buckets, also they splash so much water and the bedding gets just wet and gross. But I think it'll be great out in the hugelkulture garden. And here in just a bit, once I have this all scooped out, we'll lay down some fresh bedding in here. And it'll look and smell so nice. There's Mama still working. There's Mama still working. Okay, we're moving along. Okay, I'm gonna water it down really good. Hey, girl. I'm sure it'll settle some, so I'll leave it sitting, at least for today. Come out and water it again a couple more times over the next 24 hours, and we'll see how much more room is left in it. So I've got it kind of filled to the top now, again, because I'm expecting it to settle. And then I'm hoping tomorrow to get some topsoil put onto it. I'll be back a little later to show you guys the pen all nice and clean with fresh bedding. Okay, that's what's happening today. Okay, I'm putting down some fresh bedding. These are pine shavings. We buy them in the condensed bags so that, you know, once you break them up, a relatively small package will cover a significant surface area. So that's what I'm working on right now. And again, we'll have a pretty pen here in just a little bit. Smells so good. It's nice and clean. I'll put a little bit here in the coop. They do lay some eggs in here, so. And then I'll show you guys just this setup we have here, what it looks like from the outside. Not too exciting, but I do like it when things are clean and fresh. Okay, that's good for now. That's about 3 bags of bedding to get both rooms and all the nesting boxes and crates and things done. This is about probably a 6-inch layer of bedding. I only do a complete change out, wow, maybe once every 2 or 3 months. In between those times, I just scoop out dirty spots and put fresh layers down if, if it's been wet and there's, spots that aren't nice and dry to keep them comfy. So that's the big room of the pen. Well, we've still got a lot of stuff covering this coop. This is still part of the winterization we did, but there's an attached coop that we built, and that's just inside here. We do have the hardware cloth, ceiling, floor, all the walls, just to make this as predator proof as possible. Raccoons will chew right through chicken wire. Most animals can chew right through chicken wire, and the holes are definitely big enough for snakes to get in. So I didn't change the bedding out in Scully's little room there just because she didn't want to get up, but I did change out bedding in the big room. And then let's get a view back. Again, we still got some of our winter insulation in place. That big tarp across the top does stay on the top year round because somehow rain makes its way in if it's not covered. We started with just that big room, and then as we added ducks, we built this smaller room. This is also the room where, mamas with little babies can do their brooding. If we have boys that are being too rough with the girls, or 1 or 2 ducks that are not playing nicely, then they stay in this smaller room for sure overnight, sometimes during the day. If we have a duck that's injured or sick, they can convalesce in that little room, and there's a little pass-through that we can close. So there's that little door with that little makeshift gate, and that can be closed if we want to keep 1 or more ducks separated from the rest of the flock. And it's worked out great. So we've got a nice size enclosure for them. I wouldn't, want to rule out maybe adding another little low room over here on this east side of the pen. But it's done nicely for us, and for a couple of people that really didn't know much about engineering or how to build structures, obviously we did a pretty good job because we put that big room up in the spring of 2016, and it's still standing. It is absolutely beautiful today. I'm excited to have some time outside to start getting things ready. I am draining the pond. I'm just using one of the small pumps to drain it, so it'll probably be draining all day and maybe even overnight tonight. And then I'll come out tomorrow and do a water change out, see if the koi and goldfish that we had in the pond before the freak winter storm hit are still there. And as always, we'll have more updates on our hugelkulture garden as they happen. All right, make it a great day, everyone.